All right. Shalom and good morning. Boaz here. Well, I wanted to do a video talking about homesteading and starting a flock. And how you should start a flock, what kind of pasture you should have, fencing, all that I'm going to get into in a video series. Because now I've been shepherding now for about 6 years. And it has had its ups and its downs. I'm going to talk about all of that. But first things first, you want to start a flock. And what are you going to need? First things first, you're going to need pasture. You're going to need an area in which you can maintain your flock. I don't care how large or small it is. The idea is that these sheep are made to have a area in which they can move, they can breathe, they can drink clean water. Again, we're going to get in all of that as well. But the first things first is that you're going to have an environment that is conducive to raising good, healthy sheep, because they're not made to be confined in tight spaces. Can you do it? Of course you can do it. But hey, for the best producing lamb, goats, chickens, whatever, they're made to roam and be in a free space. So you've gotten some land, you've gotten a little small pasture. What do you do next? How many sheep should you start off with? I personally think that you should start off with about 3 or 4 lambs, no rams at all. You see something that is this size right here, or a lamb that's that size right there. See one of these bad boys? They're about 4 to 5 months old. And the reason why you want to start off with some baby lambs is due to the simple fact is that you want to learn your sheep. You want to learn the flock. You're going to want to learn how they move. You're going to want to learn all of these things due to the simple fact that you have never shepherded before, and you want to start off small. And again, the reason why I say that is that you can have read a whole bunch of videos, you could have watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos, you read a whole bunch of books and stuff. However, that is just not going to give you the information that you need and the hands-on experience that you need in order to successfully learn how to raise sheep. And that goes for goats, cows, whatever, but the idea is that I'm a shepherd, I raise sheep. And what a lot of people do is they go out and they purchase a whole flock, and they have never shepherded before. Now, this is different if you have put in an apprenticeship, or you've spent a lot of time on somebody else's farm learning how to raise sheep. But if you have not done that, the idea is that you want to take your time to learn how these animals operate. And there's only but so much you're going to be able to learn from a video or from reading a book. One of the things that I was able to do is spend a lot of time with the flock. I spent a lot of time just being in their environment, sitting in the spring, summer, wintertime in the pasture, just watching how they move, watching how they are, learning what kind of feed that you should feed them, learning the importance of good pasture, and just learning the sheep. This is a perfect example. You see that one right here? She has been with me from the very beginning. From the very beginning. That is one of my prize sheep. But the rest of them that you see here are from the offspring of the sheep that I had prior. But as you see, you can grow a pretty large flock. Now, by no means, this is not a large flock. I make sure that I control my numbers based on my ability to maintain them, because a sheep, and you see that one is pregnant right there. All of them are pregnant actually, and they're gonna drop those loads. But a sheep has a 5 month gestation period, and they can have twins up to triplets. And so, as you see, uh, you want to be in a situation where you can go ahead and raise your sheep and learn them. Because once you start introducing a ram to your flock, you do the math. 5 month gestation period. Each lamb can have up to 2 ewes or baby lambs in a birthing cycle. Your flock can grow very large very quick. So the idea is that a lot of people, they want to buy this large flock, and they want to go into this process, but you're going to be able to raise a flock very quickly, just by the notion that, just by having a ram and going through the birthing cycle, you'll be able to get plenty of lambs. But the idea is that you want to be able to learn your flock, and that takes time. You don't want to rush it, because a lot of people that rush it, they don't know about diseases, they don't know about maintaining your pasture. They just don't know a lot of these things, and they rush off into failure because they want to grow large quick. So unless you know what you're doing, and then there's the type of sheep. These are hair sheep, Katahdins, meaning that they shed their wool in the spring, and they grow their wool back for the fall. So, these are things that you need to just take into consideration. But yeah, how long does it take to learn? Hey, it depends up to you. Me, it took me about a year and a half before I started to have a birthing cycle, because they weren't large enough to give birth. Now, of course, a sheep or a ewe lamb can start having children or having babies probably 6 months in, so you can see how quick the birthing cycle can go. Just another good example right here. This lamb right here, this lamb or this ewe right here gave birth to this one, and this one is bigger than this one. And then she turned around and gave birth to this one right here. You see? So that one is the mother of this one. That is the mother of this one right here. And you see how quick, how big they get and how quick they grow. So don't worry about getting a whole bunch of lambs. Just worry about getting a small 3 or 4 lambs. Then you go ahead, when you feel as though you're ready, introduce a ram and begin your process of growing your flock. Going to get into things like making sure that you have access to clean water. I would not give my sheep rainwater. I would not give my sheep city water or any kind of tap water, because in that tap water, you don't know what the hell is in there. You see, she's trying to get it on and popping right here. You see? But the idea is that you want to make sure that they're getting good, clean well water from a good, clean source, because that's going to affect their overall health. So, again, making sure that when you're starting your flock, you're starting on small, you're expanding it from there, understanding the gestation cycles, understanding, we're going to get into sickness and diseases and things like that. And what I personally do, which is kind of dramatic, but what I personally do to deal with the sheep that is suffering from any sickness or disease. But, again, I've had this particular ewe for about 6 years now, and I think she gave birth to this one right here. And you see how big they get? And so what I personally do is I go ahead and take the ram lambs that's about 6-7 months old, and I go ahead and butcher those and put those in the freezer. And the ewes are either a sell, or I'll go ahead and raise them to expand the flock. Now again, when it comes to the size of your pasture, what you're going to need in terms of that, I'm going to get into all of that in later videos. But when it comes to just starting off your flock, you want to start off small. You want to spend time with your flock to learn how they move, and then go ahead and produce or get a lamb to begin to propagate your flock. But that's all that I have now. Aren't they beautiful? I mean, there's nothing more peaceful than learning and coming out and spending time with your flock. All right. Have a blessed day.